Hello, Onoja Simeon once again. Welcome to the unraveling of the deep wisdom behind some of Africa's finest proverbs. I've heard it said before that until the lion learns to write, every story would glorify the hunter. And I've heard it interpreted as meaning that until you learn to communicate your own story, other people with vested interest, as the hunters, will tell the world versions that favor them. I've even heard the great BBC Focus on Africa presenter, Komla Dumo, use it in one of his TED Talks where he concluded by saying, it's not so much about what the international media does, but what you write about yourself. Just recently, I was reawakened to the veracity of this proverb while having a chat with a few other Nigerians, when one of the ladies said that her colleague said Nigerians are fraudulent people. And that did not come to me as a surprise because a few days before then, a friend sent me some screenshots of how companies in Dubai advertised for jobs and said Nigerians were not allowed to apply. I even saw a news headline where it says Dubai firm bars Nigerians from applying for job after arrest of hush puppy others. And it's these events and others that have informed my discussion of this proverb today. But I'd like to start by clearly stating that this should not be taken as a justification for the misdeeds of the few, very few, who are bent on tainting our image and making life difficult for the larger percentage, and I mean it when I say larger percentage, of hardworking, intelligent, and morally upright Nigerians. I've decided to highlight the following facts because it's only out of prejudice or ignorance that anyone would choose to describe almost 200 million people as corrupt simply because of a few bad apples. So let's start on a casual note with that saying that in every 12 there's a Judas. In that case, there would be approximately 16 million corrupt Nigerians, which is 8% of the population. My question then would be, what happened to our perception of the 92% upright Nigerians? Or maybe we should assume that in a fantastically corrupt team of 12, there would be 3 Judas. And even then, we'll still have up to 150 million upright Nigerians. And if we choose to work with actual facts, step away a bit from the assumptions and work with actual facts, you would see that according to the Premium Times, 3,019 Nigerians were deported from the US in 15 years. That's between 2003 and 2018 for recorded criminal convictions. Now, that's less than 1%. Actually, exactly 0.79% of the over 380,000 Nigerian immigrants living in the US. I've also tried to count the total number of Nigerians that have been convicted for internet fraud, which of course is the crime that is mostly associated with Nigerians across the world, and I couldn't count up to 5,000. In fact, of the 79 people on FBI's list of cyber's most wanted, only 6 are Nigerians. That, folks, is less than 0.002% of the total population of Nigerians in the US, and less than 8% of that list containing 20 Chinese, 16 Russians, and 37 people of Arab descent. Also, of the over 2 million foreign nationals that were deported by former President George Bush, only 2,879 of them were Nigerians. Again, less than 1% of Nigerians in the US. Barack Obama deported 2.5 million people and only 2,148 were Nigerians. That's less than 0.6% of Nigerians again. And as at the time this data was being compiled, Trump had deported about 1 million people, only 867 of which are Nigerians. So that's also less than 0.3% of Nigerians in the US. One might wonder why I'm focusing on the US. The answer is simple. These 380,000 Nigerian immigrants in the US have contributed so much to the country that I don't think it is fair to be talking more about the corrupt few than these exceptional personalities. Just imagine for a minute what Christianity would be like if the whole New Testament were about Judas and not Jesus and the 11. According to that analysis by the top CNN journalist Fareed Zakaria, 59% of Nigerians in the US aged 25 and older have at least a bachelor's degree. I saw another report that says 4% of these Nigerians hold a PhD, 17% hold a master's degree, and 37% a bachelor's degree. And it doesn't just end with them having different degrees of degrees, as most of them work high-skilled jobs with 54% in in largely white-collar positions, where it's been reported that they earn approximately 14 billion US dollars and paid more than $4 billion in taxes in just 2018. In fact, one report says 70% of all black doctors in the US are Nigerians, making me wonder what the corona situation in the US would have been without Nigerian doctors. But of course, nobody's talking about that. Let me just, for the sake of time, pick a few Nigerians that have contributed immensely and are still contributing to the making of the America we have all come to respect and admire. Professor John Dabiri, who has won several awards and have been described by a very popular science magazine as one of its brilliant 10 scientists. He is a professor of civil and environmental engineering and of mechanical engineering at Stanford University. He has been listed by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of its technology innovators. MIT Technology Review magazine also named him one of its 35 innovators under 35. Professor Joseph Igeseme, who is an award-winning scientist and subject matter expert in biomedical science, a regular member of several US government expert and advisory panel for research and evaluation and accreditation, he has been cited in the Who is Who in Medicine and Healthcare for outstanding achievements in biomedical research and education. Dr. Bennett Umalu, the forensic pathologist and neuropathologist portrayed by Will Smith in the 2015 film Concussion. He was the first to discover and publish on CTE in American football players. Ememe Umana, the first black female president of the Harvard Law Review. Pelina Igbokwe, the president of Universal Television, the first woman of African descent to head a major US TV studio. And it will shock you to know that some of your most celebrated celebrities have Nigerian blood running in their veins. I'm talking about the likes of Chinwetele Ejiofor of 12 Years a Slave, Adewale Akinnuoye Agbaje of Pompeii and Born Identity, Hakeem Kazim of X-Men Origins and Pirates of the Caribbean, Adetomiwa Edun of Merlin and Law and Order UK, David Oyelowo, Tayo Cruz, Danny Grover, Forrest Whitaker, and even President Trump, who thinks that Nigerians live in shithole huts, has come to accept the fact that his daughter's boyfriend, Michael Bolos, who although is a Lebanese Nigerian, was born and raised in Nigeria. Apart from the Nigerians in the US, I can talk about people like the Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka and Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who rose to the number 2 position of managing director in the World Bank. She has also been listed by The Guardian among the top 100 women in the world and as one of the 50 greatest world leaders. Anyways, whatever your definition of morality is, trust me, you would find at least one Nigerian at the helm. In fact, maybe Cardinal Francis Arinze would be Pope today if, as someone humorously said, White Smoke or Fumata Bianca could produce a black Pope. Just recently, a Nigerian in Japan, Ikenna Inweke, returned a missing wallet with huge sum of money to the police and also refused to collect a percentage of that money that he is entitled to by the law of that land. A conclusion can therefore be reached that those who are trying to brand Nigerians as fraudulent do have an agenda. And that agenda might not be far from the fact that making more people see Nigerians as very bad people would definitely reduce the competition for the brilliant brains that Nigeria continues to lose. If I choose to even shift the focus from the US to other countries like the UK, where a good number of their members of parliament are Nigerians, and all the other countries of the world where Nigerians are doing great exploits, perhaps this video would last a whole day. So let me conclude by asking this simple question, and the question is directed to Nigerian politicians. Why are we even having this conversation? How did we get to a point where we have to explain why our best brains should be accepted in foreign lands? And to you, are you one of those people who are 3 times more likely to post and share negative things about their country as they are to share positive things? I have a challenge for you, and that is my only tip for this proverb. It is in the words of Komla Dumor. It's not so much about what the international media does, but what you write about yourself. I challenge you today. I challenge you to decide that beginning from this moment, you will, for every negative news or happening you share about your country, share 4 positive things. Thank you very much for watching this video. I know you got some value out of it, and I'm assuring you that there's more where that came from. So please subscribe and click on the notification bell so you don't miss our next quest into the wise world of African proverbs.